doing that, even preparing YouTube link and all. So shall I start now? Yes, my beloved students.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I am starting recording now. All the best and welcome to our lecture number 13. As I told you, a lucky number for many in US. Don't worry whether you are here anywhere. All numbers are lucky for us. For those who do their best to the extent possible. So I am sure you keep your 100% effort. Now let me share the screen. Now is the screen visible? Yes, no.
Yes,
Then
sir.
I can
Yes, sir.
continue further. So now let me take attendance once. Now it is downloading. Now we continue with our lecture number 13. My beloved students of underground coal mining methods MN 2102 to this lecture number 13 on 7th February. Now we have been discussing about different mining methods as a part of it after a little about the classification and board and pillar. And in board and pillar, we are supposed to open the district, right? I have been showing you many mines related information. Since I am talking about the mines and then opening about the districts and all, instead of showing only little about the theory, let me also show some material related to now. Is it visible now? The screen.
Yes, sir.
Can
Yes, sir.
anybody read what is there on the screen?
Scientific study for depillering with sand stowing beneath PWD road.
Very good.
Transmission
So
line
like
necessary.
this, we have so many methods we designed for different mines. I mean, special underground coal mining methods. Why I'm showing this is not to teach all the methods here, but in these mines, by showing this, our development and opening the district and then how we plan for depillering all those things to be shown. That is the reason why just only that much part I will show in this, and then we enter into that theory how to select and all. So this is one panel, my beloved students. Whatever you are seeing, this is a green color, right? This is a barrier, I mean barrier pillars around the depillering panel. In this depillering panel, now you can see these are the pillars, right? Along the strike direction or dip direction, whatever. And some pillars are left. Now you can see this is a reason why in deciding the panel size, since we will be discussing later how a panel or a district is supposed to be designed. And then here you can see there is on the surface, there is some type of a PWD road, state highway or whatever, and then high tension power lines which were not supposed to be disturbed. That is the reason why these pillars are left uh, uh, not to be extracted, right? And that is the reason why this is also become like a barrier. Otherwise, this panel, they could have had even up to this. And now this is shifted from here to here. This also has a barrier to protect the surface features, right? And of course, as far as this panel is concerned, now you can see how it is there. I would like to show you instead of showing all that, only the panel and then its layout, how that is divided into different districts and all. And just to continue with that, this is, of course, we give more emphasis to our India, our Make India, Skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So this is in Telangana, right? In that Telangana, this comes under Bhupalapalli, right? This is a place, and this is, of course, the detailed location of that Kakatiya Kaniketike 5 of Singareni Caldestan. This is what I wanted to show you, not everything in this. Now here you can see this is a total mine, my beloved students of underground coal mining methods, right? This is a total mine, whatever my cursor I am showing you, the boundary or the leasehold area or the mine take. This is the way how people use the terminology. And in a plan, generally we are supposed to show the dip direction and the north direction. Now you see this is in the dip direction, I'm in the true dip direction, and then this is a north direction. These are the minimum requirements. I hope you must be reading the surveying also. I don't think I need to explain further. You know about survey, and in that all these will be taught to you, and even the borehole sections, and then even the scale, whatever you are able to see here, right? In a different RF or the factor, how much that means 1 centimeter on this plan shows about 120 meters in the field, all that representative factor, that's what is RF is called. And there are so many reasons why you give, even instead of writing as 1:200 or 1:20 or 1:2000 plan as a representative factor RF, we also draw this. There is some reason behind that. If you are reading survey, you can answer to that. Otherwise, I will not ask and to judge your survey knowledge here, but you should know about it, right? So now, since this is a dip direction, that means the strike direction is something like this. Now you can see in general, any mines having in the strike maybe around 3-4 kilometers. That is the reason why I told you how to select even the size of the mine and then entry into the mine. All that I will explain here. Now, then here, since the true dip is this much, now people may be interested to go. Suppose when any mine, now for that matter, now you can see if this is a total mine area, right? Or only this much is a mine area. If it is dipping like this, now you can also enter in this way, but in that way what will happen is in the true dip, so your inclination will be so steep, right? So even your drive or your gallery or your inclines, main inclines also, when you are making like this, it will be very deep, very steep. So now I can have a cross. That means now our inclines are something like this. These two inclines, you know very well, there are two openings required, and why two openings are required, that is also another question for you as a quiz question. I am not writing, but this is the way how we conduct the quizzes, right? So these two openings can be made like this, but here if it is 1 in 1 or 45 degree or 1 in 7, 1 in 4, right? Inclination, whatever we are having here, right? That will become so steep. So now instead of along true dip, if I make a gallery or the entries like this, how it will be? Now this inclination will not be of this much steep. This will be, if it is 1 in 4, this may be 1 in 6. So these are the reasons why even when you prepare that, then you will be having the shape of the pillars instead of right angle like this, right? Then it will be something like this and then rhombus shaped, right? Now I hope you understood this. Just ultimately, these are the dip rise galleries, but these are in the apparent dip. It is not in the true dip. True dip will be very steep. So apparent dip, and then other galleries when I am making it in this fashion along the strike. Now my pillar will be a rhombus shape like this instead of if it is a rectangular or a square shape. So these are the ways that we design based on the geology and then orientation of the deposit itself. When it is steeper, that's what is happening here in this mine. And now here how we divided that. Now you see entry already you must have understood. This is the main inclines, right? You can see here two main inclines, and then from there we have different trunk roadways, and then these galleries will appear like these pillars instead of a rectangular pillar. In the beginning it was rectangle, and then at that time even manual mining was also done. So there was no problem. But when you are interested to use side discharge loader or side dump loader SDL or load haul dumpers, or in future if you are interested in continuous miners, because these are some of the semi-mechanized and mechanized technologies that what we use. In that case, we are more interested to have a good maneuverability of the machines. Machines efficiency, how you can improve. Of course, you will be learning something in the mining machinery, but here also you should know about these machines and all these machines production productivity figure related information. Also, I have been discussing with you based on whatever little experience of 35 years I have in managing these type of mines. Now, here you can see when this is made into panels. Now, this is whatever is shown in the green color. It is something like a barrier pillars. OK, the same way you can see, of course, for this you will be learning even in the survey. There are some notations, right? Even what color to be used, right? For what purpose? Even a ventilation air should be shown with blue color if it is a intake air. Some of the things you may note down, right? It is also written in the coal mines regulations 2017 that I hope some of you must have gone through all those things in between. I know you are very busy, but still in between you should take out of your busy schedule some time, at least once in a week, 10-15 minutes to go through these coal mines regulations are related to coal mining methods. Then you will be knowing all that with pleasure. And because when you are going to get appointed even in the coal mining industry, you are supposed to know about all these. And we are looking for you people, my beloved students, future for underground mining only, right? So that is what I have been emphasizing, advocating, re-emphasizing and giving impetus on going for underground mining where we are lacking proper innovative methods to suit that next generation, right? Requirements of the coal. Now, this is the green color, right? These are the panel barriers, that panel size. Now you can see in that way. Now here it is a panel. Now this panel we are talking about whatever I was showing you as a SS9 panel, and that now this is the way how we are dividing into different panels, right? Panel size. Why this panel size should be of only this much size, right? Then this is a panel size here, and panel size it may have 20 pillars, 30 pillars, 40 pillars, right? Along strike direction, maybe 6, 7 pillar, 8 pillars, all along dip direction, maybe 5 pillars, 6 pillar, whatever, 30, 40, 50 pillars, depending on the incubation period. All right, you please note down, you know about that. Incubation period, we will be deciding. But here, the method of mining is with stowing. So there it can be more number because here that incubation period also will be very high, or in fact in the stowing we are covering, we are not leaving coal exposed for a long time. When after blasting and then even whenever that goof is formed, we are filling it back. That's why even a very big size is possible and there is less chances of any type of fires because we are not allowing that coal to be exposed for long time. And there this type of incubation period is not a, uh main cause for designing the panel, but in caving panels that is very, very important. And then in that way we open the districts, right? And then ultimately now here itself, let me tell you, showing this panel layout itself, where in the previous also I have shown some other mines panels, and I will show other uh, whenever time permits and based on ultimately your interest, my beloved students. Here, that means main headings are inclines are there like this. OK, and when I make it little bit more bigger, let me also explain little bit more, right? So these are the inclines, main inclines, right? This blue color we show the intake. Otherwise here blue color, don't get confused with the blue color here. Here the blue color is for particular seam and red color for some other seam. There are different seams, black color with other seam, like that they are represented. Otherwise, generally even main intake, right, is through these main inclines, right? One of these inclines also can be used as a return airway. then in that case, we will be having the in between the stoppings, air, ventilation stoppings, so that this side will act as a return airway and the intake airway, right? And when we are working, for example, this is a district that you are opening it. No development is there. You just imagine you opened this mine and nothing is there, just inclines you made it. Now you entered into this part. Now this is what has become, or it is what is expected in future also, that from the part to whole we will be going. That is, we make the inclines fast, main inclines, minimum 2 are required. Why 2 you will be explaining in the break after 10 minutes. Here now we enter through trunk roadways up to the boundary, and then here we can say that this much is my one of the panel size. Then I can develop that panel and depillar. This is even we follow the best way, my beloved students, is to follow the simultaneous development and depillaring or extraction. That is the best way of extraction of the pillars, where you will not be leaving the pillar or the coal for any spontaneous heating or like that. And when you just extract that by any whatever the method that you are deciding, then you'll be closing that and that will be go, and you need not even give air and everything to that, and then you will be working another panel. And while you are extracting one panel, you may be developing at other places. So this is the way how you will be deciding for the total mine. I am not going much into this. This much is sufficient for as far as this is concerned, just to show you how mines are opening the district. Now let me tell you about this. This will be more better. So when entrance to the mine is by a shaft, and the main haulage system, which may either be locomotive haulage, and while explaining this, I was taking you some examples also, giving you some examples. You please note down so that by the end of the semester, you should know in total throughout India, at least other countries also little bit we touch upon, but in India, at least in which mines, which type of technologies are being used, and which type of problems that we are facing in underground coal mining, you should know about it, right? So locomotive haulage generally is used in our southeastern coal fields, where it is something like a edit mining that we do like that. Okay, right? Or the rope then extends on the either side of the shaft bottom. Instead of that, in the mine, whatever I was showing you in that KTK 5 mine, or before that even GDK 10, 21 incline, VK, PVK, so many mines. We have so many plans of the mines, right? So if it is from the shaft bottom also, it can be there. But on either side, when you enter into the mine by a gallery, I mean by the incline, main incline, and then you will be opening as a trunk roadways, and then that may be served by either locomotive haulage or by the rope haulage. And if it is along the strike, that rope haulage can be even endless haulage, my beloved students of underground coal mining methods MN 2102. Now, deep and rise districts are opened by first driving a set of 3 or 4 headings. Otherwise, also 2 are itself are sufficient, but 3 or 4, why we want to have it is, now we can utilize one of that for different purpose, right? Like a manway, another for even a conveyor roadway, or another one as endless haulage, right? And then even while closing that mine or extracting, when you are having 3 roadways, for example, 3 roadways like this. Yes. Now, if it is instead of if it is only 2 roadways, suppose if there is, since this is to serve for a long time from the main headings, suppose this is a main heading, right? In the panel like this, if it is a main heading, right? And then now you are opening that 2, 3 or 4, because main headings I cannot have 3, 4 like that, right? When you are opening a mine, it can be 2 inclines, one serving as a intake, one as a return, right? In a different way, designing the ventilation system. Otherwise, there can be, in addition, there may be some shafts in different places. For ventilation purpose also, we have the shafts. Otherwise, now when you are entering it into in the mine, and then in seam development, when we are doing it, I can have in the seam 2 roadways like this. If I have 2 roadways, then there will be 1 row of pillars. when I have instead of 2, now I can have even 3 roadways or 4 roadways, right? And in that case, what will happen if I have 3 roadways? In that way, now I will be having 2 rows of pillars, right? And one roadway I can use it for manway, I mean a persons to just walk as a walkway. Another maybe for only rope haulage, and another I may be using for only as a conveyor roadway for transporting coal or whatever it is, right? This is the way how we can decide. And then here with a set of 3 or 4 headings of the shaft bottom level in the dip and the rise directions respectively. And here in the example what we have seen is from the main inclines. Now we can have in a different way your headings are the trunk roadways. We also call that as a trunk roadways from the main inclines. And then in an incline mine using rope haulage, as you can see now, the direct rope haulage is the main transport and it runs along main dip. Now it can be even the numbering is also given like that. When it is there, it can be a main dip, even they may name it or terminology used, maybe even it as a 0 or 1, or this side if it is a north side, south side, they may use as a 1 north, 2 north, 3 north, 4 north, 5 north. These are the dip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And in the south side, for example, or east, west, whatever the direction, depending on the requirement, I mean the disposition or orientation, you will be giving an appropriate terminology so that it is easy for you when you are writing or to get an idea that this is on the north side or the east side or south side. Then this is the way how numberings are also given. And later when we start giving, when this is a deposit touched here, we may start opening the inclines so that inseam development starts from there, right? And then suppose this is the incrop from here. Now I start your development headings, right? Your trunk roadways. Then from here I will give the number 1 level, 2 level, 3 level, 4 level, 5 level. This is the way how the numbering is given, my beloved students of underground coal mining technology MN 2102. Now, then from the main haulage road, districts are opened along the strike by use of endless haulage or by conveyor, whatever, right? Then in except in steep seams, why I have written here is, so here if it is a very steep seam, what we do is our development itself may be something different, where it may not be inseam development, even we can have along the footwall side if it is a metal mine, otherwise along the floor side we may have even the shafts. Shafts may be at this place, and then we can have your horizon type of development some level. That is the reason why I have written like this. Now, except in steep seams, the word that is the purpose and the reason. In mines with degree 2 gasiness and higher, the aim should be to reduce number of air crossings which are possible sources of heavy leakage, because you know very well when we are developing, right? Even I can show you from the same plan whatever just I was trying to show you here itself. Now when you are having a development, these are the main inclines, okay? One incline serving as a return, one in the incline intake. Now on this side, when you are providing, suppose on the right side or whatever the side, right? One of these from the main incline, and now it is blue color, right? This blue color is your, blue color is your intake, your return, right? This is a return airway where I may be having exhaust fan here. Okay. Now when I am opening the headings, what will happen from this side? I can take the main intake airway to these districts which are there here, panels this side, right? So when I am connecting here, this intake airway will go. But return from that district, from this panel, this panel, this panel, wherever, whatever it is, that return now from intake is all right, but that return should come and get connected to this return. Then how it is possible, my beloved students? Now here, when I am having the return, now this should be connected to this return sign. Okay. Now this is crossing this. In that case, now I am having a air crossing, so that air crossing will be, I am connecting this but it is not crossing my intake, right? This is there up to this in the same level, right? But here at this place, I will be having a air crossing. That crossing will be something like this. Yes, now you can imagine. This is the way our air crossing will be there, right? Over this, without getting connected to this intake. Now return from this place, I am taking and connecting here through air crossing, which is crossing the intake airway. Same case, if you are crossing the return airway or intake airway. This is the way how we are supposed to do. And I hope you understood the way how it is done.
Excuse me,
Yes, of course.
we
Uh,
can have our break now, sir.
yeah, now after 1 minute, just after explaining this slide, we will take a break. Now it is 9:34. Okay, that is
Okay.
fine, Saswat. Right. So in degree 2, why I am telling degree 2, 3, we should be more and more meticulous in planning for ventilation and air crossing, all these things, because in degree 2 means already I have told you. Acha, that is also another question to you. You should answer these 1, 2 questions after this 1 minute break, whatever I take. Okay, what is this degree 2 mine means? Okay, you have to answer. In such cases, it is good practice to drive 4 deep headings, out of which the middle 2 headings serve as intake routes and the other 2 as a return routes. An intake and its adjacent return serves half of the panel, and the other intake and return serve another half of the panel. Now you must have got the idea of having this intake returns. And here, before going for any pillar development, let me break here and then go to this. 9:35, rightly you are reminded. Now you can ask for any doubts and answer to that questions few asked. I need not ask again. This should be voluntary, and for I know you know some of those answers, and for the benefit of everybody we should discuss. Now over to you. Any doubts and answers? I am downloading the attendance now. Yes, my beloved students. Over to you. For any doubts, small break, 1, 2 minutes. And for you to answer. Already I have taken attendance. And here I think every time I need not write it as a quiz. When I ask something as a question, you yourself should come forward and give answer for that so that you deserve, right? This is a quiz for our lecture. What is the lecture number? 13, 14, 13, right? So I asked few things. Why 2 openings? Why? These are not any Einstein-Newton research question. These are very simple. Already you know about that. And what other question I asked in the quiz? Since it is being recorded, everything.
2 degree, 2 degree mine, 2 degree.
What is yeah? What is degree 2? 2 mine. Yes. Then few things also I asked it. Why 2 openings required? Right. Anybody want to answer this? Anybody want to earn marks in the quiz? Anybody?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, please continue.
Sir, myself Suryakant. Sir,
Surya, right.
minimum two openings required because for many purposes like intaking materials through one side and outgoing materials from another side, and for ventilation purposes also for intake air and outgoing air,
Right.
and different mechanizations also done by through going through one inlet and coming out of one inlet, and excavations, all the ore can be come through one inlet. uh, yes sir.
Very good. Any other?
Sir, I am
Yes.
Ayush, sir.
Ayush, right. Ayush, please.
Sir, आज our mind development sir state that the two safety required for generally safety purpose, sir. If one safety anyway closed, then another safety will open for the people first. They will come out. Like
Very good.
the main purpose is the safety of two safety. First thing is for safety, and all other things are not such a mandatory. And our regulation also said that after two chapter met we can uh, uh, we can send the labor to the before that you cannot send any labor to that, but that main issue is safety, sir.
Very good. Nice. Anybody else want to respond? Otherwise, no problem. So just to add something more to this for your purpose. Now you can imagine, suppose if you just imagine that there is a 1 kilometer long tunnel or 2 kilometers, right? So how that air, if other side is a blind, okay, other side is a blind, because in the workings, now when you are making, suppose this is a gallery, right, or the opening, when this is of 1 kilometer, then there should be a way where air is entering that should come out. Very simple. It is very simple as a layman's understanding, right? When you need, because for person to live, right? So you may live without food for some time, without water for some time, but without air, how many hours you can live? Very simple to understand, right? I am not telling you art of living here for air and Sudarshana Kriya, but here there should be a way where air should enter and air should come out. Very simple. And next, as I said rightly, okay. Now, if there is only one heading, if something happens here, some problem, what will happen to the persons? Right. That is the reason why even we should have a written separate, and these should be interconnected at different distances, so that if something happen, now you can use it for as a escape route. These are some of the terminologies. Okay, it's all right. Nicely said by Surya and Ayush, both said right. Very good points. Now, I hope others also know about it, but they may not be having that internet or connectivity. That's why they could not say. Don't worry. Now, what is a degree 2 mine? Already we discussed
So, sir,
previously.
Myself,
Anybody can
Ayush.
answer, right? Yeah.
Ayush.
Yes.
I am Sir Saksham.
Satyam,
Saksham, Saksham
Yes.
sir, SAKSHM. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Degree 2 mines is the measurement of the emission of methane in the mines. It represents the different stages of emission of methane inside the mines. I
So
think, and
already for
if it is
degree 2,
due
anybody want to add something more to Saksam?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
I know, Ayush, sir. I want to add something.
Ayush, yes, please.
Sir,
Right.
gasiness of mine has degree to gasiness of mines 1 to 10 million ton of methane.
Very
Means
good.
methane
Nice.
emission is
So
1 to 10
nice.
million tons, and percentage of gasiness is less than more than 0.1%, sir. Then
Right.
we will say that
So
this is degree 2 mines.
very
There are
good.
3 type of mines we can, like degree 1, degree 2, degree 3. There are these the three category are there. Degree 2 category is this, sir.
Very good. So already you know about that. Okay. Now, any doubts, or shall I continue with the class?
Sir,
Anybody?
my name is Ayush. I have doubt, sir.
Yeah, please.
We can know that every circular structure are
Right.
very stable. Then why not we make circular structure in bore and pure method, sir?
Right.
With maximum with circular structure with minimum amount of pillar living pillar, we can make maximum amount of extraction. Why not we use circular structure instead of that
Instead of
rectangular structure?
yeah,
Rectangular structure,
instead
sir.
of rectangular or this one, right? So
Yes, sir.
your point is very good. Always circular shape is more stable than any other shapes, right? And in fact, in some other, to add something more to your friend, for everybody, when it comes to the shape and the structure, stability of the structures, circular is more stable when there is uniform stress distribution in all the directions. That is right. And then in general, when we are going deeper and deeper horizons, right? Elliptical is more stable than even circular when there is a biaxial, that is, or the triaxial stress field of different, right? That means
Yes, sir.
vertical direction or in one direction, the stresses may be more, in another direction, this may be less, right? In that case, instead of circular, even elliptical shape is more stable. That is the reason why I hope in your previous semester in development of mining method, I mean or introduction to mining or mine development, there also you must have been told by your teacher or you must have learned through some papers or lectures or Google, whatever it is, where elliptical shape of the shaft may be more safe or more stable and compared to even the circular in the biaxial stress field when the stress in one direction and another direction is less. If the stress is uniform, then your circular shape is better. And then rectangular and all, whether it is a pillar or a shaft, whatever it is, that corners are subjected to more shear stresses. This is a very simple understanding. That much is fine. Now coming to the pillars. Now it is very difficult and almost impossible practically to make any type of circular pillar, right?
Yes,
Why?
sir.
Because when you make a circular, what will happen to other pillars? Now, when it is a rectangular or a square or a rhombus, whatever the pillars that we are making it. Now, how we are making it? This may be a square when you are making your levels and dip in the same dimension along the dip and along the level. Then it is becoming square, right? Otherwise, it is a rectangle when one of these dimension is less. This is a rectangle. I hope you are able to see this, right? And
Yes,
then
sir.
when we are having in the not in the main dip, this is a dip direction, right? Main dip. And when you are having a apparent dip, you are making it, right? And even sometimes not along the strike, even apparent strike also you can do that, many things because of so many orientation problems, right? Then we are getting a rhombus shape. When you are trying to get, when it is a circular one, what will happen? Yes, this is a circle, right? Circular one. Then another circular pillar, you cannot do that. In between, there will be so many stress concentration. And of course, even while driving also circular one, it cannot be done. These are some of the reasons. Otherwise, as far as stability is concerned, fine. Circular is more stable, more stable when all directions stress is same. When there is a biaxial and triaxial stress fields, even the shaft dimensions or inclines or whatever, even the openings also of circular, elliptical, rectangular, of course, square may not be required for the main headings or main inclines because you want more width and less height, height as per the requirement of your development, and for that as per the requirement of ventilation, as per the requirement of transport arrangements, as per the requirement of additional accessories like water pump lines and then electrical lines, even power line. There are so many things to be incorporated into the headings. So that is the reason why we select the shape and the dimensions of that. That is fine. Shall I continue further in
Yes, sir.
pillar development? Okay, fine. So a board and pillar method of mining, already you know, I am not teaching this now. You are all experts in that. It consists of development of coal seam into pillars by driving network of roadways, and that we are also calling it as a gallery, right? Don't worry for any spelling mistakes. Usually passing at right angle, as I have shown you how it is being done using pens, right? Rectangle, yeah, square, and then rhombus shape. Therefore, a core pillar is surrounded on all four sides by the galleries. Very simple. Where two galleries meet, they are called the junctions, and that is a place where we need more supports because at junctions there is more possibility of failure or the roof control problems or the side fall and so many things, and which needs more support, as will be discussed. Of course, in other units we'll discuss. And some of this material already I kept as a part of national mission project as a pedagogy. Already I told you, along with our some of my juniors in IIT Kharagpur, we prepared that from CMRS days. Okay. Now, a number of pillars form a working unit called a panel or a district. Very simple definition, where there may be 10 pillars, 20 pillars, along strike maybe 5, and along dip maybe 3 or 4. So 15, 20 pillar put together, we are calling it as a panel or a district, which each panel is isolated from the rest of the mine, working by the barriers all around it. Already I have shown you, that is the reason why I have taken you into the mine and then showed all this. And usually barriers are made of solid coal. Already you have seen that between two panels. Only essential galleries required for passage of the men, ventilation, drainage, or stowing pipes. They are driven. That is the way how we drive. That is a trunk roadways and main headings. All those things we make for the purpose of providing all these. And in case, but minimum 2 are required. That you understood. In case of emergency, which could be due to spontaneous heating, fire outbreak inside the panel, unexpectedly high gas emission, and especially that is in degree 2 and degree 3, that may happen. Then pillar crushing, especially when we are at more depth covers, or otherwise when that pillar strength is very less. Already we have seen all these parameters in the before up to lecture number 12, right? Already we have seen when that pillar, that coal is very soft or very weak or highly cleated, then that may get crushed. Okay, and that also may happen when we are going at more depth covers. All those things we should take care. And the panel is sealed off by brick stopping to isolate it from other working. If there is any problem, then we should not allow any air to enter into that. That is number one, right? When there is any problem, so that when there is some fault, right, have some crushing of pillar or side faults, so much gas emission. Now that should be isolated, right? So that is done by a brick stopping, and there are also written the details of what should be the material used for stoppings, whether it is a ventilation stopping of temporary nature, permanent nature, otherwise a stopping just for isolating. Otherwise, this stopping can be a fireproof stopping between the panel or isolating the gove. There are so many ways, right? Now, for all that, there is a design guidelines. There are some guidelines already provided based on our previous experiences in coal mines regulations also, and so many circulars it is there as a part of underground coal mining methods MN 2102. We all should know about that. Now, development of board and pillar work any of the following ways. What are that? Entire property developed into the pillars, and pillar extraction starts from the boundary. That's what I told you, right? So where in the olden days people used to just develop all the property, right? And reason also I told you, right? Okay. Now next, entire area developed into panels and pillar extracted panel wise. There is a difference. That's what I told you. First one comes as a part 2 hole from the main heading itself, right? But instead of that, let me show you from the plan. That is more easy to explain, right? That means now from the first part, already I told you, from part 2 hole means now from here making main headings here. Now I start developing and making pillars from here itself, adjoining the pillar main heading, and then like this I am like a breast from here itself, from the main incline, I start developing all these into the pillars and going up to the boundary. This is from the part 2 hole. Otherwise, now from the main heading, I am going through trunk roadways up to the barrier, and then from there I prepare all the panels, and from each panel, as I explained to you, this panel size I select, later I will develop into the pillars and then extract. So that is the best way. And here itself, let me just show you, my beloved students, when I am showing about the mine. These may be so many seams. Now you see coal seam 1, 2, 3, 2 top, 2 bottom, 3 BA, 4A, 4B, 5 seams, so many seams. This is a KTK5 mine. Now this is one of that panel with the barrier, right? And then now you can see how it is extracted with a split and then slices, leaving a rib in between. And of course, this is for even for different type of extraction, even by a continuous miner, roaded by blasting and then semi-mechanized with SDL, LHD, whatever we can think of. Now you see how that pillar is appearing here. That's just I wanted to show you a pillar. Now in an inclined seam, how it is appearing. Now it is a 5 dip of 22A, and this is a south direction, whatever it is, or north direction, whatever. This is the way how numbering is given. Now pillar, I am showing you little bit in a more bigger way, and even that coal. Now you can see how this coal is there, this pillar, and this is inclined. Now you are able to see when by my position itself, when I am vertically standing like this, when it is showing the inclination. That's what I told you, my beloved students, why we made it into the rhombus shaped pillars, right? Now you must have got that idea. And then pillar after development, after 10, 15 years, how it is looking like. Even there may be some iron pyrites, right? Or there can be appearing like a rust and other things. Then these are the cleats, how it is developed. And this is a place for you. I am showing you the cleat, right? And whatever I am having, this is 1 meter long, my beloved students. ये किसी को मारने के लिए नहीं है. ये डंडा जो है with a iron cladded stick, right? And you should ask, of course, if you know why a 1 meter long with iron cladded stick we are carrying as a supervisor in the mines, right? If some of you know about it, you tell me. Otherwise, we will discuss further about that, right? So every supervisor and above, they carry this with them. Okay, 1 meter long, in general 1 meter, otherwise about 1.2 that, but 1 meter. But there is some purpose for that, and then it is iron cladded at the end, right? That means if it is a stick like this, and at the end a iron one tube like, right, steel tube like that is kept around this. So that is at the end it will be looking like this, might be an iron cladded. This wooden stick of 1 meter. Okay, right. So here little bit more to show a panel only. Now this is the total panel, how these stoppings are there, temporary stoppings, right? And then this when the air is coming, it is from your main headings, right? Then intake air may be taken from here, and then from there this return will come, right? Like this. And wherever you are working, that you should ventilate it, providing ventilation stoppings of temporary, permanent, whatever. This is the way how we are supposed to do that. And this is a support, and how now you can see this slices also we made in the apparent dip so that my machinery can move. Maneuverability of the machinery is comfortable in appropriate inclination, right? So now I will break after 1 minute. Okay, only showing part of it. That layout of pillars, how it is there in that panel, in panel SS9. That's what I was showing here, right? And proposed to be extracted under the surface features, how to design. And now you can see one of our surveyor is showing for me, and I was taking a pic of him, right? So here now you can see how that roof is there, and then your pillar situation. And now you can see how much inclined it is. Inclination, you can get an idea of the inclination. That is the reason why we were going with this type of extraction, my beloved students. Method of extraction, this one in the section of 3.6 meter, leaving the coal in the floor 0.8 meter, then 2.8 meter here we are extracting with a sandstone roof, and then split and slice is on the apparent dip, right? It is not in the main dip direction, but in the apparent dip direction. Why it is on the apparent dip direction, I already explained to you. Other details we will go in detail into this in the next subsequent classes. Now it is 9:50. 58, my beloved students, have undergone coal mining methods. And now for this pillar development, as we have seen, entire area developed into the panels and pillar extracted panel wise, and how it was extracted and all. And with that example, I tried to show you. Then some area developed into panels, and then further development work taking place while extraction in other panels going on. This is simultaneously development, depillering. So many ways you can plan for it. Then the last approach is usually followed, because while development is still on, production can start early from the mine, from depillaring panels also. This is the way how we plan and divide that into different panels and districts. Now I am going to your attendance. Any doubts you may ask? Otherwise, be ready for summarizing, and I am taking attendance. And in the beginning itself, you can decide, my beloved students of underground coal mining methods, who want to summarize on that day. This is also one way which I used to follow. But of course, depending on the convenience, I don't want you to be under stress. Stress need not be managed. You have to relieve the stress while learning, and learning should be a pleasure. That learning is an activity in a management quadrant of 4 quadrants of doing urgent works and important works, right? So that is what is a technique that you should know to relieve any stress, and how stress relieving techniques in the mines, and especially in underground coal mines, when you go in deep, that also I will explain to you, where we have designed for different mines. Okay, now over to you for any queries. Otherwise, who is ready for summarizing? They can start. Yes, please. Who is summarizing today? Anybody?
Yes, sir. I'm Suryakanth, sir.
Surya is summarizing. Yes, please continue.
Yes, sir. Sir, our topic started with the opening out the panel or district. Then through that topic, we went to some slides that you showed some slides of scientific study for deep-learning and sandstone in that Ketika 5 incline, Bhopal Valley area of SSCL. Then you showed some map of different panels and incline way, and then you showed some layout of the SS and SS9 panel, where the PWD roads and transmissions lines are in the surface. Then we discussed that how a rhombus shape pillars comes in the picture, that like when we construct some incline in the apparent deep directions with respect to the strike direction, the rhombus shape pillars comes. And then you set some points, like depending upon the incubation speed, we decide and redistribute the panels to different number of pillars. Then we talk about entrance by the shaft, and where you give an example of southeastern coalfield, where haulage system or the adit or used for the locomotive. And then we discuss some deep price districts open in the set of 3 or 4 headings. And you tell us that why that 3 or 4 are required for the ventilations, machinery intakes, manways, and any conveyor roads. Then uh, then we discussed that rope hallways and strike by the endless hallways. After that, we use next point, we decided discuss the degree to gassy mines and how the cross methods are used to intact and return AR waste. Then the doubt sessions come. In the doubt session, we have discussed 2 questions: why 2 openings required, and what is the meaning of degree to mine. Then after that discussion, I used to ask questions about why circular structures are not used for pillars and waste. Then sir, you answered that because of different triaxial loads and our ways making the roadways, we cannot make that as simple as that. And for pillaring purpose, it is mostly difficult and mostly impossible to make a circular pillar through our machinery systems. And then after that we went to pillar development where we talk about the board and pillar methods and junction supports. Then we some discuss some points like entire property develop into the pillars and pillar extraction stand from the boundary in the diagonal member for the roof following safety and and stopping method is used for different isolations for gaseous material or go support like that. Then we at last we discussed, you showed some of the examples and some of the plans and map views of Ketika 5 incline and method of extractions in the SS9 panels. And last point we discuss about the depillering, where the last most extraction process is there. Yes.
Very good. Nicely explained by our Surya what we learned today, and with a very good quiz and nicely answered by our Saksham, Ayush, Surya, etc. And in the next class, I wish if you can find some time, go through these regulations of our coal mines regulations, right? And don't go by this any spelling mistakes here and there, but that is a regulation of coal mines regulation 2017 recent one about that gallery dimensions, pillar sizes, right? Now you can see regulation number 112 of class 3 on coal mines regulation 2017 that is giving about the size of the pillar and all. This is 6, but it is 2017. 2006 I have written because it was at that time some draft was being made, right? That's why I mentioned that. Don't worry for those things. So this you try to go through, and tomorrow we will have more and more discussions, lively discussions. When you go through it, you will really enjoy while interacting with me in next classes. All the best, and then take care of Omicron and COVID-19. Now, shall I close for today because we should not enter into others classes. Then before closing, what we should say, Chandra?
Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, sir.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Bharat.
Jai Bharat, right? And it is a deep condolences for our singer, right? Lata
Yes,
Mangeshkar ji,
Lata Mangeshkar.
whom we lost, but she is Bharata Ratna, and with all rights, everything was performed. And take the inspiration from her songs, right? With lot of patriotism and contributing to our country, and especially for our underground coal mining methods, where we should design our own methods with whatever skill India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. All the best once again. Take care of COVID-19. And now I am stopping recording. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.